There we go. That's what I'm looking for. Okay. Test broadcast, man. Whatever. Don't know anything about test broadcasts. Okay, let's see here. Oh, there it is. Oh, okay, I'm live. All right, good. Well, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to this episode of the Game Plan, broadcasted on Facebook Live. A big thank you to the place behind me, the original Bella's Pizzeria out in Yukon. You'll have to let me know if this microphone is working. It's brand new and Bluetooth. I never know if it's doing what it's supposed to be doing or not. So let me know, whoever tunes into the stream. We're going to have a great episode tonight, an hour of sports content coming right at you. Again, a big thank you to Bella's. This is the behind the scenes view. Okay, that's what this is. Right, I've got to disconnect my phone because my charger is broken, and we're getting into it. I'm excited. I just got sort of the best cheesy bread around, okay? It's good. You'll see me eating that during the break. Here we go. We're live. Welcome, Facebook crew. Let's do this. And welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to our weekend show of the Game Plan. I guess it's not technically the weekend yet. It would be week-ending show. It's Friday afternoon. We're back for our final episode of the week. That was probably a better way to put it originally, huh, Mike?
Yeah, I think that would help.
I think so, too. Notes for next time, but hey, the Game Plan today, I'm calling in remotely. I am out at the original Bella's Pizzeria in Yukon, 1615 South Mustang Road out here. They have a long history of serving some great pizza to the Yukon and Mustang area. You can call them at 405-578-8282 or find them on Facebook, facebook.com/OGBellasYukon. Mike, I know you've had some original Bella's pizza. It's some of the best around, and the cheesy bread, man, oh, so good.
Yeah, it's very, very good. And it's a great example of a mom and pop doing it right.
Absolutely. And I mean, this Bella's has been locally owned and operated for over 7 years now. Like, they are a big deal in the area, and rightfully so. Big friends of the station. We're always happy to get to come back. And hey, if you want to see Bella's for yourself, you can drive out here or you can tune in on Facebook Live. That's right. We are broadcasting live on Facebook. Yours truly has got the video going. You can see the store around me. You can say hi, chat with me in real time. Maybe call me out on some bad sports takes. You know, that's a classic. Hey, the original Bella's has fresh hand-tossed pizza, fresh ingredients. You can try the Angry Pig, barbecue chicken, meat lovers, and supreme pizzas, among many other menu options. They also do pastas, salads, subs, calzones. It's a varied menu, but no matter what you choose, it's going to be delicious. That much is for sure. And I'll talk a little bit more about Bella's as we get onto the show, of course, because they also do have a special ad coupon you can look out for. So I'll let the people know about that as we get onto it. But Mike, how's your day been, man? It's finally Friday. We made it.
Yeah, so I made it. So it was pretty productive. Got some things done that I need to get done, other assignments, and so I'm ready to talk sports. It's trade deadline is it officially ended yet, or we got a couple hours to go?
No, I believe it ends on like the 31st. I think we've still got a couple days.
Okay.
But I could be wrong on that because I don't have it in front of me. But the trades have been starting, if that's what you're pointing to.
I think that's what I was hearing. Trade line is. See what.
Oh yeah.
31st.
Yep.
So they have begun, yes.
And we've got some trades to talk about already when we talk MLB. I guess since we're already talking about it, we can make that our first segment, huh?
Yeah, let's jump in. Let's get into the big news of the day.
All right. So as we just mentioned, the MLB trade line deadline is approaching. So the teams are making their moves. First up on the list, the Yankees are acquiring third baseman Ryan McMahon from the Rockies. They gave up 2 minor league left-handed pitchers for McMahon, who is set to replace Oswald Peraza, who was starting at third for the Yanks. Peraza was batting at the bottom of the lineup, hitting only a buck 47, Mike. Not good. Yeah.
That's Michael Jordan territory. Ouch.
Ryan McMahon down in Colorado was not doing significantly better, but better enough. He was batting 217. Now, in a field that is a hitter's field, it's a hitter stadium, those numbers are not super impressive. Okay, I'll say that just right out the gate. 217 in Colorado does not have the home run totals to back up being in that park. But maybe he can turn around with a new organization, make something happen with the Yankees. They've got a short porch. I mean, I'm sure he can hit a couple more home runs there.
Yeah, hopefully.
Now, I'm told that this wasn't the Yankees' number one guy, that this wasn't the absolute best pickup they could have gotten. That's what I'm hearing just around the internet, around the spaces. If that's true, I could absolutely believe that. Ryan McMahon, again, is an upgrade over Peraza right now, but he's not that big an upgrade. Now, I actually think the Rockies might get more out of this with those minor league lefties. Okay, lefty pitching, their stock is at an all-time high, and it only seems to be continuing to climb. And not only are those two lefties, those are two minor league guys that you can keep in your system for a little bit while you figure out the rebuild in the pro scene, right? I think this was a great deal for the Rockies. I think the Yankees approached this as just, we need to do something to fix this hole in our lineup. Okay, now we've got a new one, the Mariners, acquiring first baseman Josh Naylor from the Diamondbacks. That's right, Josh Naylor made it big with Cleveland before being traded to Arizona, and now he's back in Seattle. The Mariners gave up left-handed pitcher Brandon Garcia and right-handed pitcher Ashton Izzy for him. Naylor will likely replace Donovan Solano, who hit 243 with 3 home runs. Naylor is doing better on all accounts with a 292 average and 11 home runs. And he fits in, Mike, perfectly to the middle of that lineup. He's going to be surrounded by guys like Arozarena, Raleigh, and all these really solid hitters that he's going to have some chance to drive in.
Which is exactly what you want, You don't want to be sitting, you don't want to be low man total, you don't want to be out there by yourself and they can put you around you.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it was already a pretty tough lineup there at the start for opposing pitchers to deal with. Naylor was a good pickup. That's just another bat. That's another quality hitter that opposing pitchers are going to have to worry about now. All right. Speaking about pitchers, we've got some pitchers coming up in the news here. The New York Mets, the other New York team, are acquiring Gregory Soto from the Orioles. The Orioles are getting right-handed pitcher Wellington Arcina and Cameron Foster for Gregory. Now, Soto joins a pitching staff headlined by David Peterson, Clay Holmes, Kodai Senga. Of course, you've got a lights-out closer there as well. So I think, again, this is a good pickup for the Mets. This is one of those that just bolsters an already strong pitching lineup, okay? The Mets have been at the top of their division for a little bit now, and I'm going to try and pull up their schedule here. But again, like those names I mentioned, right? Clay Holmes is having a great year. Kodai Senga. Those are not, nobody pitchers. Those are really good guys. And as the Mets continue to add pieces, that makes guys like Edwin Diaz even more scary. Because now he's got another quality pitcher he can come in and close for. And you already don't want to face Edwin Diaz behind in a game.
Mets are playing the Giants, and then they go visit the Padres on the West Coast swing.
All right, West Coast swing.
Yeah.
Let's see. The Mets right now are only a half game ahead of the Philadelphia Phillies in the NL East.
Yeah, it's tight in the NL East.
Right. Every single one of these games matters, and they matter a lot for the NL East right now. I'm going to take a peek at the wild card picture as well. If you look at the NL, the league leaders all have their bids. That's Milwaukee, Los Angeles, and New York. Philadelphia is in the wild card spot. Okay, they do have one of those locked up. It's the rest of the division that makes it so interesting because it's Miami, Atlanta, and Washington. Washington pretty squarely out of the picture. but Miami and Atlanta are more interesting picks. They're, let's see, I believe Miami is 6 games out of the wild card. Atlanta is 10, which is not undoable. Atlanta is a long way off. Yes, Miami has a much better chance. It looks like this is not going to be the Braves' year. But if Miami gets hot at the right time, we could see them come for that second place team, whoever doesn't win that battle at the top.
Yes, exactly. And 8 games out in this day and age and with the dog days of August to go through, it's doable.
It's very much
They're not
doable.
dead yet.
Yeah, we saw.
Atlanta's almost dead, but
They're very close. They're like 5.5 feet under, not quite 6, but they're getting there.
yeah, they're in a coma fading fast.
Yeah, they've got one good player, and that's all the life they've got left right now. But speaking of 10 games, I mean, we saw multiple teams go on 10-game win streaks. The Brewers had one. The Red Sox had one. That is far from impossible. So I think the NL West picture, or I mean NL East. I did it again. The NL East picture is very interesting, and they can't take any time off at the top. Now, the other divisions are fairly close through first and second. The Central is Milwaukee and Chicago still. The NL West is still LA and San Diego.
Yes.
But they're not, to me, they're not as interesting as the NL East. The Miami is one of the further teams behind comparatively in all the divisions, but in that one, you can never know. You can never know. How about this for some breaking news out of the pitching sphere? Justin Verlander got his first win of the season versus Atlanta.
Yes, I saw that.
Yeah, he's the one who put them that extra half feet under. Okay, they were at 5 feet. Verlander came in, got a win, 5.5.
And it would figure it happened against Verlander, the guy who struggled all year, just couldn't catch a break. And against Atlanta, he caught a break.
They felt bad for him.
Yep.
Hey, Verlander went 5 full innings, had 3 strikeouts, 5 walks, but he only allowed 1 hit, and he gave up 0 runs.
He just kept a wife and his kids, and they were the cuteness and the beauty just overwhelmed the line of braves. They couldn't concentrate.
He threw less than 100 pitches in his outing, and that was in game.
That's old school, man. That's what he used to do when he was young.
Well, for only 5 innings, you maybe wish the starter could go a little deeper if we're talking old school. But
Still.
yeah, but again, that was in game 3, so that's the big point. That was a game 3 performance from Verlander. Helped the Giants win that series against Atlanta, as they had won game 2 and were looking to ice it in that game 3.
All right.
Yeah, so that's a big point in Verlander's favor. That, hey, this guy can still pick up wins. He's just playing for a team that struggles to get him that kind of support.
Exactly.
The Boston Red Sox received a trade offer from the Padres, inquiring about outfielder Jarren Duran. The Padres offered Dylan Cease. They offered some picks. They also offered catcher Ethan Salas. And Boston shut it down almost immediately. They declined that quick. Mike, are you surprised by this at all? I mean, Boston has a strong outfield. Jarren Duran's a great player. I'm surprised they didn't give him up for much pitching almost.
I don't know what's going on with Boston because it seems like the trades earlier this year, the moves they made, the fan base is mad.
We are.
As you know.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering what PR is going on with that.
So actually, I played a little bit of devil's advocate on you. I kind of led you astray. I'm glad they didn't trade him. I don't like that package. Yeah, Cease is a starter, but he's 3-10 this year with a 4.59 ERA. He's, in my opinion, he's not the superstar kind of arm you would trade a guy like Duran for.
Yeah, and so something like that's kind of interesting. Usually something that weak usually doesn't get out unless somebody wants it out.
I think Boston wanted it out, frankly. I don't know if you've been keeping up with it, but Duran went on a podcast where he had a very emotional response to the idea of being traded. I think that kind of got through to him.
We were talking about the other day. That's what I was thinking. Back in my mind, I was like thinking, I think this was this whole thing with Duran with it being a more of a PR move to appease the masses outside of the big monster to keep them from storming the place.
It might be. If it is, I'd say it's the right decision for that ownership group, frankly. But again, for that package, I think they can get more out of San Diego specifically. Okay, the Padres are a team that has some good names. They have some good pieces they can trade away. The picks are good picks. Don't get me wrong. I mean, those are like going to be highly. Excuse me. I've got something in my throat. They're going to be highly valued come the next draft. Ethan Salas is a pretty good prospect, but to that point, he would probably only be a backup for Boston right now because Boston is running with Carlos Narvaez, who is doing really good in AL Rookie of the Year contention. So, as a Boston fan, as a baseball fan, I think this was the right move by the Red Sox, but everyone's entitled to their own opinion on that. I think they can get more out of San Diego if they do decide to trade Durant. Mike, that's all our trades we've had so far. I haven't seen any breaking news about new ones, have you?
Let's take a refresh here real quick. I got nothing that just popped in on last.
Yeah, I've got nothing either.
No, the last. Yeah, just they posted something about an hour ago, but that's it. And they're wondering about the Yankees as usual. So
right.
Yes.
Who isn't wondering about the Yankees?
Yeah, I-95 stuff. So it looks like things have kind of settled down for today, at least.
All right. Well, then that takes us to the end of our first segment. That concludes the baseball talk. Hey, the game plan is out at the original Bella's Pizzeria in Yukon, 1615 South Mustang. They've been here for a long time and have been locally owned and operated for over 7 years, folks. Still serving the same great pizza they always have. And pizza's not all they have. They've also got subs, calzones, pastas, and more. Desserts. So come on out to the original Bella's here in Yukon. You can see me sitting in the lobby area. I've got the Facebook Live going. Everybody watching there can see the restaurant behind me. So tune in to Facebook Live, chat with us live. Call me out on whether or not you thought that Boston deal was a bad look for Boston or not. You know, we can have a little bit of fun with it. Hey, we're about to send it to our commercial break. Remember, you can call the original Bellas at 405-578-8282 and order ahead. They'll make whatever you want. It'll be hot, it'll be fresh, and it'll be delicious. But that's the original Bellas out in Yukon. Listen to the break. All right, folks, all right. I hope this microphone is working well. I should have brought my actual USB mic. That would have been smart, but I'm not smart enough for that, apparently. It's fine, it's fine. Hey, cheesy bread, y'all, cheesy bread. It's so good. Okay, now I'm really hoping the mic doesn't work so it doesn't pick up me chewing. Hey, to everybody watching on Facebook, either right now or in the future, thank you for tuning in. We really appreciate it. We try to have a lot of fun with the game plan, so it's always good to see when people are enjoying it on the other side. We want to keep doing a lot of these at a lot of different places. So the more you guys tune in, the more opportunity we have to go out, meet people, be at local businesses, and do these episodes. And I think they're a lot of fun. I hope everybody's enjoying the sports talk. I don't know why they give me a sports show, but they do. I forgot to mute my microphone on the Zoom call. So that was going that whole time. Yes, ma'am. It's great. Sorry, no, you're good. It's very good. All right, we got a minute till we come back, folks. Again, thank you for tuning in on Facebook Live. I ought to do a poll sometime. That would be fun. Ask about something we're talking about and see the people's opinion. Ooh, that's a good idea. That's a real good idea. Hey, welcome back to the game plan. Sorry, Mike, I left my microphone unmuted on the Zoom call. I hope that didn't interrupt anything on your end.
No, I'm a good. I know what I'm doing on this end.
All right, good
I'm
job.
doing very well.
Yeah, he's a professional, folks. He's a professional. Hey, getting into this second segment, we hope everybody's enjoying the show. We're out at the original Bella's Pizzeria at 1615 South Mustang in Yukon. Come by, see me live, chat it up with the friendly staff. I'm at one of the tables munching on some cheesy bread. Some very, very good cheesy bread, might I add. Call them at 405-578-8282. They're on Facebook at facebook.com/OGBellasYukon. They've got an ad in our publication, America's Neighborhood Values. You bring that by, you get a free cheesy bread with the purchase of, I believe, a large pizza is what it is. So you can keep an eye out for that. Maybe pick up that coupon and come by and bring it. They'll love to see you come by with that, trust me. And hey, take my word for it, because I'm eating this cheesy bread right now. It's very, very good. Bell's has been busy recently. We've had a lot of people come by as well. If that's testament enough to how good the pizza is that right now in the dog days of summer, when it's 100 degrees outside, people still want to come by and get some hot pizza. All right, here in this second segment, Mike, we're going to talk some of the local sports. We've got Tuttle High School, Mustang, and Yukon on the board talking about their football schedules. All of those games you're going to be able to hear on the Gospel Station Sports and Talk if you click on the Sports and Spirit broadcast. That's right. That's where all the games will be. You can listen to them live. I'm sure I'll be out at some of them, folks. So if you haven't heard enough of me for whatever reason, I'll be out at those. That's my favorite line, Mike. If you can't tell.
Exactly. You're kind of the man right now on this double shift here.
Yeah. Oh, the morning and the afternoon, getting the whole thing, the whole experience. Hey, let's take a look at this Tuttle Tigers schedule. They begin August 28th in roughly a month. Okay, they stay in Tuttle versus Guthrie. Then they play Newcastle and Noble to kick off September. That's on the 5th and the 12th. Newcastle is at home, Noble is away. But then they head right back home for homecoming versus Ardmore. Now, one thing I've noticed about all of our local high schools, Mike, is that Ardmore gets scheduled a lot when there's a special event going on. Do you think there's any specific reason why? Do they think like they can just beat Ardmore and get a win on like a senior night or a homecoming?
Yeah, a little bit. Ardmore's been kind of down, so that's what they're banking on. But
I haven't been around the high school sports long enough to know, really in depth every Oklahoma team we're playing and how they've been, how their schedules have been. But that is funny that you should mention that. When I played, well, I guess I shouldn't play. When I was in high school, a lot of the weaker opponents, you put them at the front of the schedule, and then you get into district. But all of our events were kind of centered at the end of the year. Maybe it was just a baseball thing.
Yeah.
But you've got homecoming September 26th. I don't know, but that kind of feels early to me. But with senior night on Halloween, maybe it's not that weird.
Well, okay, so how it happened. This means that that's their last home game. So when is homecoming?
Homecoming is on September 26th.
That's kind of early, but
It feels early.
Yeah, usually it's a little later, but maybe just the way their schedule fell, it just kind of worked out that way.
I don't know. They've got Medill to kick off October. That's in Medill. But then they come back to play Bethany at home. So I don't know. I mean, maybe it's not that early. Maybe I just don't know anything about scheduling high school games, which, if we're being honest, that's the most likely reason. Hey, getting into October after that Bethany game on the 10th, Tuttle has Tecumseh in Tecumseh on the 16th, Blanchard in Blanchard on the 24th. And then they're back one more time for senior night on Halloween, October 31st versus Chickasha. And then the season gets closed out in Hera, November 7th. So there you go. That's your rundown on the Tuttle football schedule. Again, you can listen to those games on the Gospel Station Sports and Talk. Click on the Sports and Spirit link to listen to those live when it comes game time. One of the closer cities, Mustang, also has released their schedule, and we'll look at some of those. They kick things off on September 5th against Yukon. That's right, the Mustang Yukon game, very early.
Wow, right out of the gate.
Right out of the gate. And I don't know how that got scheduled to be the first game, but I think Yukon is in a larger district, right, than Mustang is.
Mustang's 681. Mustang runs with the big dogs.
Oh, okay.
So, but it used to be Yukon. It used to be when there was nothing there south of the I-40. It was a 3 or 4 mile drive straight down to Mustang proper, but now it's all built out. So Mustang and Yukon sit right next to each other now, and and there's no love lost between the two schools.
No, not at all.
Because that you got a Yukon person and a Mustang person now living next door to each other.
Yeah, we're literally right down the road. It's so funny.
They live right at the dividing lines, like cut between two houses.
Hey, but a good news for all those Mustang and Yukon folks is that the original Bell's Pizzeria is really close to both of you. So you get to come in here and have that rivalry in the restaurant. It's fun.
Yeah.
Hey.
So after that big mini Bedlam game, they're natural rival. What's up with them?
They've got Broken Arrow on the road, followed by Westmore and Moore both on the road after that Broken Arrow game.
Wow. Okay. That's going to be an adventure.
It's a pretty tough schedule right out of the gate for Mustang this year.
That's tough.
That's very tough. Yukon into Broken Arrow into Westmore and Moore proper. That's tough 4 games.
Yeah.
They finally get to come home after that and play Enid for their homecoming. That is October 3rd. But then they're right back on the road at Jenks. That's away on October 10th. Then they come back for a 2-game homestand versus Edmond North and Bixby. Edmond North is the Palm Clinic. Bixby is Native Heritage Night. After that, they've got Norman on the road. And finally, to round out the season, Mustang is playing Deer Creek on senior night, September 7th, here at home. So looking at that schedule, as we've already mentioned, that's a tough look right out of the gate. And then we get into more of a traditional schedule through the middle. Now, I've heard Deer Creek is pretty good. Mike, are you able to speak on that any?
Deer Creek has grown a lot in the last 10 years. They basically went from a 3A school all the way up to where they're at now because they made a conscious decision to build a lot of houses up in that area. And a lot of people who couldn't get into Mustang ended up going to Deer Creek.
There you go.
Where the growth spurt happened, in the last decade.
Yeah, and Edmond North is always a pretty good school too.
Yeah, and if you couldn't get it at Edmond North, you went to Deer Creek, and also that's why Piedmont has grown so big so fast as well. Starting around 2010, the place to go was Mustang and Edmond. And if you couldn't get in there, everybody went to Deer Creek and Piedmont. And so that's where all the major growth has happened in the last 12 years now. Yeah, since 2012, 2013, somewhere in there. And so you got that going on. And I can't believe that they're going to have to go take 2 trips to Tulsa to play both the powerhouses this year. That's rough.
Yeah, it's a very tough schedule. Head coach Lee Blankenship has his work cut out for him.
That is a 2.5-hour bus ride from the Mustang School campus all the way up to Broken Arrow and Jenks. Because Broken Arrow is the north side of Tulsa and Jenks is the south side of Tulsa.
Yeah. It's a fun. Those are the rides that make high school memorable.
Yeah, but better hope the guys have gang face on when they
Yeah,
do it.
better hope it's a win. I've had my drives like that. That's funny.
Yeah,
Yeah, Coach Blankenship of the Mustang Broncos is in his seventh season now. He's posted 103 and 53 lifetime record, but again, a tough schedule coming up. We'll see how Mustang responds to it.
yeah.
All right, before we head to break, Mike, let's talk a little bit about Yukon. They've got their media day on the 9th, a scrimmage on the 10th, and then it's go time from there. Two scrimmages into the first game at Putnam City. Actually, that's at home. So Putnam City at home kicks off the Yukon season.
Putnam City original.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, it just says PC, no PC West, no PC North. Yeah,
Yes,
okay,
it's
Putnam City.
PCO.
PCO.
So they've got that Putnam City game, and then of course Mustang follows that on the 5th.
Yes.
That's on the road, but not really on the road.
Yeah, in their stadium.
Yeah. Then you've got Sepulpa on the road. They have their bye on the 19th. Westmore on the road to round out the road trip. Then they return home to play Broken Arrow on October 3rd. That's their homecoming. Now they get Broken Arrow coming to them. They don't have to go to Broken Arrow, but they're right back on the road for Edmond Memorial. Then they've got Union at home on Thursday, October 16th. That is youth football night. They go to Norman North on October 24th and have a two-game homestand to round out the regular season. October 30th against Edmond Santa Fe, Military Appreciation Night, in November 7th versus Owasso. That's senior night.
How did they get all three Tulsa schools in their place? Wow.
Vastly different schedule than Mustang right there.
Man, wow. That's like
Right.
Mustang's looking at that schedule going, okay, we gotta go to Tulsa, but they get all the Tulsa schools coming to them this year. Oh wow.
That's how the cookie crumbles, man, I guess. I don't really know. Hey, but again, those Tulsa schools, the Edmond schools, those are going to be tough. Yukon has some tough games to round out their season. It'll be fun. It'll be a lot of fun, that's for sure. We'll have a couple games of the weeks as well. We'll get those in October. So be looking forward to those. Those will be carried on the Gospel Station Sports and Talk, the game of the week, especially that Edmond Santa Fe game. That is really interesting to me on Military Appreciation Night. I think that'll be a really good battle. Well, Mike, we have crossed the halfway point of our show, so I think it's time to remind the people where we're at for the game plan today.
Where are you at?
We are at the original Bella's Pizzeria, 1615 South Mustang in Yukon. Come by in person, see the game plan live, chat with us on Facebook Live. But the original Bella's has a lot of different options on their menu. Barbecue chicken, the Angry Pig, meat lover, supreme pizza, normal pepperoni and cheese, whatever you could want. But they also do pastas and calzones and subs and so much more. It's all freshly made, hand tossed, the best, healthiest ingredients. You can look for their ad in America's Neighborhood Values and find a coupon for free cheesy bread. Folks, I'm eating the cheesy bread myself. I'm showing it on the Facebook Live now. It's very, very good. You're going to want some of this. And finally, you can find them on Facebook, OG Bella's Yukon, or you can call them at 405-578-8282. That's 405-578-8282. Listen to a break. You're listening to the game plan on the Gospel Station Sports and Talk. And there we go. That's segment number 2. Thank you, folks, for tuning in. I got shot down on this cheesy bread, man. Tempted me too much. Okay, let's see here. Let's see here. Hey, everyone listening on or watching on Facebook, I guess I can say. We're at the original Bellas out in Yukon. They've been great hosts so far. We've got still half of our show left, which I'm very much looking forward to. And then I'm going to dig into this cheesy bread after. I've got the good marinara sauce with it too. But hey, we're going to get into some college football news next, and then we'll round it out with maybe just some general news, some breaking news as it happens. That's our favorite fourth segment, talk about whatever we want to talk about. Hope everybody has had a great week, and I hope everybody watching this now or in the future will have a great weekend. It is very hot at the end of July, so stay safe, stay out of the heat, drink plenty of water. I'm not drinking water right now, but I had my water earlier, so we're good. Okay. And we are back here on this Friday episode of The Game Plan. We're now officially past the halfway point of today's show. Mike, thank you for all the work you've put in this week. You've helped me both on the show and in the other work I've been doing, and I very much appreciate it. Thank you, brother. Hey, hey, on this segment, we're going to talk some college football. How about that? Excuse me. Coughing so much today. All right, I'm ready to go. We're good. ESPN released an article earlier today projecting the 2025 SEC college rankings. Now, to no one's surprise, the University of Texas is likely going to start out as the number one ranked team in the nation and also the number one ranked team in the SEC. But this year, the ESPN analysts are giving teams like Alabama a much better chance to win everything. They see Alabama, even A&M, as more legitimate contenders this year to go along with the Texas and Georgia teams that we knew were going to be really good. This is very interesting to me. Alabama, Georgia, Texas, and LSU all have very high projections, according to this article. Oklahoma, though not at the bottom, sits squarely in the middle of the projection right now. You know, everybody, how do I say this? I think everybody realizes that Oklahoma could be good, but I don't think anybody is putting them on the same tier as your Texas, Georgia, Alabama teams, right?
Yeah, on national level, yeah, that's where everybody's basically sitting at.
Yeah, it'll be this year. Now, wherever you fall on that hot seat debate with Venables, I mean, either way this year goes, I think as long as they stay around 500 or better, we're not going to see any major moves made in the Oklahoma coaching staff. But that could just be wishful thinking, you know. I won't rule that out. But again, they've got to compete in a very tough conference now with Texas, with Arch Manning. Alabama is now in head coach Kalen DeBoer's second year. They're only expected to improve again. The Georgia Bulldogs have been led by Kirby Smart for how long now? And they're always really good.
Yes.
LSU with Brian Kelly, you know, they can always make a good run. We've got them at the end of the year. That's going to be a very tough game. This is going to be, I mean, we've said it plenty. This is going to be a tough year for Oklahoma, especially. It's just going to be tough. The SEC is strong once again, and as a conference, I don't think that the Southeastern Conference is going to underperform like it did last year.
Well, I UCLA.
Right.
Alabama, we just don't know what they're going to look like. It's going to be, the second year of the new head coach. Georgia. So I've seen some people basically thinking it's going to be Tennessee and Georgia, right? And LSU, Tennessee and Georgia. Sorry, Texas and Georgia fighting it out for the title. LSU, Oklahoma are wild cards. It's just going to be, what do they have and who stays healthy? Because you don't want to have happen with OU where all the entire wide receiver room goes down.
Yeah, absolutely. And
what was going on that year? All the wide receivers got hurt.
it's already started kind of creeping into the picture, unfortunately, but we can hope that the Sooners stay healthy. We absolutely can. Hey, I forgot to mention it coming out of the break, but we are out at the original Bella's in Yukon for this episode of the Game Plan. The original Bella's is at 1615 South Mustang out here. I think we just talk about them so much, I start to forget when I say it going into break and when I say it coming out of break, Mike. Hey, they've got fresh hand-tossed pizza with calzones, subs, and much more. Again, a nice dessert menu as well. So come through the original Bella's. See us doing our thing here at the Game Plan on Facebook Live and on the Gospel Station Sports and Talk. You can get a good pizza. Try the Angry Pig, the barbecue chicken, the meat lovers, the Supreme. Call them at 405-578-8282 and pick one up for yourself today. Now, circling back to that college football discussion, OU has been decidedly average offensively. That was what their big their big goal was this year, was to improve that offense, get new weapons. They've got John Mateer now, who it seems like we're expecting to start.
He's going to start. I mean, we're posting from the West Coast. He's going to start.
Yeah, he's going to start. Now, Venables in his fourth year as head coach has posted a 22-17 overall record. And again, Oklahoma is expecting to be average, according to the ESPN analysts. They said they give the props to the defense. Okay?
Yes.
They're still doing that. The defense should be fantastic again, is literally the quote out of the article. They've got senior leadership. They've got young talent. It'll be a good Oklahoma defense. But with one of, if not the toughest schedule in all of college football, the odds are stacked against OU, and that offense especially. Now, I'm looking here. It says the schedule features 9 projected top 25 teams, which is a lot. In what is it, 16-game season?
Yeah, basically. Yeah. I think 16 if you count postseason.
Yeah. So they're going to meet those guys in the regular season and in the postseason, whether they go to a bowl or they go to the college football playoffs. Is the worst case scenario for Oklahoma to do good, still get beat, and still see Venables get fired?
That's the worst case scenario.
How likely do you think that might be, Mike?
Okay, let's see what I got here. Okay, Illinois State should be a win. Michigan, I don't know. That could end up being a loss. Temple's a win. Auburn, I'd say they win that. They beat Kent State. Red River Shootout, that's a pick-up throughout the record books. You know what I'm... South Carolina's... What's the prediction of South Carolina? And OBS.
Yeah, that's fair. I don't really ever talk about South Carolina.
Tennessee's going to be tough. Bama and LSU, that'll just be attrition. What do the teams look like at the end of the year?
No.
How beat up are they? How healthy are they?
Yeah, that's how it goes in Southeastern Conference, right?
That's going to determine that. I could see anywhere from... We ran this down a few weeks ago. I could see them losing only 3 games. I could see them losing 6 games. Or 7 games.
Yeah, through this offseason, I think that prediction still remains true, Mike. I think we've hit the nail on the head with that one. So.
Because Michigan's rebuilding. South Carolina, you don't know. Ole Miss, you don't know. Alabama's still rebuilding. Missouri's been as the kids say, mid. And Tennessee's got to have a new quarterback. But by the time they face each other November 1st, will the Tennessee quarterback have a sea legs and be playing lights out ball under the tutelage of Heupel?
I don't know. Man. Lots of question marks. We've said it every time we talked about this, right? It's going to be a fun season, no matter what happens.
Yeah. I'll just throw this out there. Speaking of the person that Venable replaced, our ex, I saw him being interviewed today or yesterday on the national stage, and he looks beat down.
Yeah, California will do that to you.
LA has not been very friendly. Yeah. And I think he's on the hot seat too, honestly. And if here's the reality. The legend is, the rumor is, he left here to get away from the SEC.
Right.
And then he got shipped to the Big Ten, which is now going to be the tougher conference because they've got three major contenders up there, serious contenders. They got Ohio State, Penn State, and who else? It's not Michigan. Is it Michigan State? Or I'm blanking. Washington and Oregon.
Okay.
Are expected to be very, very good this year. So they've got four up in the Big Ten. They're going to be fighting it out, and it's basically going to probably come down to Penn State and Ohio State going to the national title to face Texas or Alabama or Georgia, whoever.
USC this year has teams like Oregon at the end of the year, Iowa and UCLA at the end of the year. They've got Michigan and Notre Dame right in the middle, which are two teams that can always pull off an upset. No, I don't know where the USC is going to finish this year. I don't know what they're ranked in the preseason, but I can always hope for an LA team's downfall, right? That's it. I'm not ashamed to say that, right?
We always root for our ex not to have a better life than we have.
There you go. Hey, we're coming up on our next commercial break. We're out at the original Bella's Pizzeria here in Yukon, 1615 South Mustang. Look for their coupon in America's Neighborhood Values. Get yourself a free cheesy bread with the purchase of, I believe it is, a large pizza. Don't quote me on that. Go get the coupon yourself and bring it by. Hey, and if you come by tonight, we're about to wrap up the show, but you might just catch the end of the game plan live at the original Bella's. If you're watching on Facebook Live, you can see the restaurant behind me right there. And we're always having a lot of fun. They're always great hosts to us. So thank you to the original Bella's. We're going to send it to our final commercial break of the show. You're listening to the Game Plan on the Gospel Station Sports and Talk.
Lily Grass Flowers and Decor is rooted.
All right. One segment left. I have got to get a new phone sometime. Man, this is bad. This charger not working. All right, well, we got our final segment coming up here in a few short minutes. So thank you again to everybody tuning in on Facebook Live or watching in the future, whichever one. We always appreciate it. And I'll say it here one more time before we move on. Huge thank you to the original Bella's Pizzeria. I love coming out. They always treat us very right. I didn't ask for this free cheesy bread, but they brought it out because they're just that kind of people. They're that kind of restaurant. So we love it here. We're happy every time we get to come out, and you guys should too. The best pizza in Yukon. That is not legally binding sentence or whatever you got to say, but it's very, very good.
Sierra, 6656 Southwest 39th Expressway in Bethany and in Mustang.
Apple Tree Antique Gallery sits in the heart of downtown Bethany at 6740.
Right. Couple segments. Couple commercials. This phone, man. This whole time the show's been going on, I've been getting notifications. Your USB charger does not work. Your phone disconnected. And there goes again. And we are back for our final segment of the game plan, hosted live in the original Bella's Pizzeria out here at 1615 South Mustang in Yukon. They've been here for a long time, locally owned and operated for over 7+ years, serving Yukon, Mustang, in the Tuttle area, and it's some of the best pizza around. I mentioned it to our Facebook crew during the break, but they brought out this cheesy bread to me. I didn't ask for it, but they're just that kind. They're that kind of restaurant. They brought out the cheesy bread. They always treat us right whenever we come out here on the Gospel Station Sports and Talk. So one last big thank you to the original Bellas. Call them at 405-578-8282. Look for their ad in America's Neighborhood Values, or catch them on Facebook, facebook.com/the OG Bellas Yukon. Well, Mike, we made it to the final segment of our show, and I, during my lunch break today, had only one thing I was doing, and that is reading the presidential action that is the presidential executive order, I guess is the official name, that is saving college sports.
Okay.
Have you heard or read anything about this, Mike? All right, well, before I get into talking about this, the important thing to know is that this does not mean anything right now. It's just what Trump says, what the order is. This will take over a month before any possible effects of it come into actual play.
Yes.
Now, the Trump's order is called Saving College Sports. It's split into 4 sections, and I got my information from Jesse Daugherty of the Washington Post.
Okay.
Section 1 is about employment status for athletes. Now, all of the details have been released, so it requests that athletes do not be recognized as employees. This is a decision that the NCAA has fought for a long time. It means that there can be no players' union like what we have at the professional level. So there's a little bit more power given back to the schools, back to NCAA. However, this also seems to me like it means that transfers from players cannot be blocked on breaking a contract accusations.
Okay.
This is, to me, the kind of regulations I was looking for when I heard NIL was going to be a thing. Now that if all of this goes through, I will say that, if this all goes through and we define athletes as non-employees, that's the kind of clarity I think something like NIL needed to be implemented into college sports. So there's a quick rundown on the first segment. The second segment protects the NCAA from future lawsuits. That's what he wants.
That's a big one. NCAA wants that.
Yeah, and you just mentioned they've been wanting it for a while. I truthfully am a little bit more vague in my understanding on this one. This is a little bit getting more into the business world I'm not super familiar with. But he asks the FTC and Attorney General to shield the NCAA and its members from future antitrust lawsuits.
Yes. Well, although I think it's a way to cover themselves from part one about not being employees, because the antitrust thing was at the heart of the lawsuits from the past 30 years, which led to NIL, which was, there were crazy restrictions about kids couldn't even sell their jerseys, their personal jerseys, until they graduated. I mean, there was all sorts of crazy restrictions on that. Johnny Manziel got in trouble for going to WinStar and signing autographs. And, then they came looking for the money, and Johnny said, no, I'm not going to talk to you. And I joked at the time, said, anybody check the hotel safe?
Again, this is, I mean, you brought a good comparison up for it. You brought good context. Mike, I unfortunately can't really speak to this much more. It's out of my league.
Yeah,
So.
and like I said, that is the business side of it, and it has to do, like I said, they don't want coming back again and getting money into trust stuff, which is what they got into to create the NIL. So that's kind of what that's feeling about. What was up third?
The next segment has to do with the NIL payments themselves.
Okay.
Trump asked that NIL deals only be allowed at a fair market value. What that fair market value is, I have yet to see.
What? No, you can't let that fly, man. No way, no how. 18-year-old kids who are actors and musicians get multi-million-dollar contracts. You can't deny an 18-year-old kid playing basketball from denying him getting a multi-million-dollar contract. No, can't do that.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you on this one.
My attorney, I'm arguing that.
This is a deal that is, again, pro-NCAA.
Yeah.
This is proposing government regulation of NIL in college athletics, which a lot of analysts, a lot of legal experts are questioning immediately. This eliminates the large booster payments to athletes. I think the idea he's going for is to make it a more even playing ground and not favor, well, I want to say not favor a few players over the many players, but yeah, I'm with you. I don't think in reality that's what this is going to do.
No, I'm sorry. There are five bands playing at a club over the weekend. One's going to get a multi-million-dollar deal from Sony. The other four are going to stay there in the hometown.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. That's the comp to this situation. What's up last?
Yeah, it's the same ideas in pro baseball. The salary cap versus no salary cap that we have right now.
That's the fourth thing?
No, that's just thoughts on Section 3.
Okay.
The last section has to deal with women's and Olympic sports. This is implementing or wanting to implement a scholarship requirement on schools that report revenue of over 125 or 50 million. Now, the regulations are a little bit different for each, but basically it would impose an order that requires maximum roster spots to be filled for teams that report income over those numbers. And the report says that it wants them to be filled in non-revenue sports as well. So that's women's and non-revenue sports. See, this is such a weird executive order because there's like, okay, I like that. Oh, wait, I don't like this one. It's like the complete opposite thing from what we want. But see, this sounds good to me. Okay, now you're requiring that more athletes get more money in scholarships.
Yes. I still don't understand why the White House is trying to weigh in on this.
Yes, and again, that is what the legal analysts are questioning as well, is how much authority the White House really has to dictate this.
Yeah, exactly. I'm with some of the critics on this. This just sounds like more posturing to me.
It probably is. I mean, we've all heard the recent news about Donald Trump right now, so I won't get into that.
Yeah, and then this just sounds like one more aspect to this.
Yeah, but that being said, the NCAA has been lobbying the government for a while now about some of these decisions. So again, Mr. Daugherty of the Washington Post just chalks this up to Trump throwing his hat in the ring.
Yeah, exactly.
Again, these are not set in stone. None of these will take place for a month, probably more.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
hey, I had something here. Something popped up that so it looks like the NFL and the ESPN are going to enter into an agreement. NFL is going to get a 10% equity in ESPN, but ESPN will take over the NFL Network and the NFL Red Zone.
oh, okay.
So the NFL media properties. to divest itself of ESPN.
Hmm.
Spin it and not sell it to somebody, but like spin it off and say, once again, you're your own company, just like you
Yeah.
were in 1980 when
Right.
you first started.
Huh, that is.
And if it happens, there's this thing about our business, and we'll say baseball for you. Every time you move, then something happens, and you're no longer employed by the company that moved you. You physically move. They spend millions of dollars to build a new studio. They move you, and then half people get, and then the station gets sold. And what has just happened is ESPN has got their place up in Hartford, Connecticut, but they were on the South Side Pier in Manhattan, while ABC News was over in Midtown Manhattan. Well, they pulled everybody out of South Side Pier and sent everybody over to and Times Square, which was some other for, and they moved them all into one big building in Midtown Manhattan. And now this is saying that within a year and a half, ESPN is going to be kicked out of Disney, and so they're all going to pack up and move again.
Really, ESPN being kicked out of Disney. That was not the news I was expecting today.
Yeah, then they'd be back on their own again. They'd be their own company.
I wonder if that would, frankly, be good for ESPN and good for pro sports coverage.
It would be, yes, it probably would be good for ESPN. They wouldn't be beholden to a lot of Disney stuff. The cross promotion stuff would end. It's a running on
Yeah.
But yeah, that's just what it is. All right.
Again, just another big thing to keep an eye on. We've got so many things we need to keep an eye on right now, Mike.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, it's.
Okay, where you at?
Hey, you got to remind me now because I forgot it coming out of one break.
Yeah.
Hey, we're wrapping up the show. We're out here at the original Bella's Pizzeria out in Yukon. This is 1615 South Mustang. They've been great hosts for us tonight. We always love to come by. If you come by yourself, you can get a fresh hand-tossed pizza, or you can get a pasta, a sub, a calzone, and much more, whatever you would want for dinner tonight. They're on Facebook at facebook.com/OGBellasYukon. They're actually linked in the Facebook Live we are doing currently, so you can get on the Facebook and find them there. Or call them at 405-578-8282. They can take orders ahead of time and have them ready by the time you get here. So, locally owned and operated for over 7+ years. We love coming out to Bella's. A big thank you to the restaurant for hosting the game plan tonight. And to everybody who tuned in both on Facebook and on the Gospel Station Sports and Talk, thank you to you guys. You guys are what makes this show possible, and we love to see you loving the show. So, hey, but that's it for us. Mike, do you have anything left?
Nope. See you later, folks.
All right. Everybody have a great rest of your night. Be safe going home. We'll catch you next week. God bless. And that's it. And that's the show. All right. Thank you to everybody who tuned in, both now and in the future. That was a lot of fun. We'll have to do it again sometime. But that's it for me. Have a great rest of your night.